introduce you to the ex-Captain Turner. He was at the after the economic collapse about a year and a half ago now. Maybe a year ago. I don't even know at this point. Captain Turner was one of the 3 captains that ran the LSPD when it was the only department, law enforcement agency across San Andreas. Now, I wanted to actually, could you introduce yourself a bit there, Turner? Like, a bit of your background, and have everyone introduce themselves as well, and what your roles are in the cabinet.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Wyatt Turner. I was the captain with the LSPD, as the mayor said here, after the economic collapse. I have about roughly 25 years experience in law enforcement from several different departments. I hail from Texas. I like a bit of a more structured approach to most policing than I guess the general population nowadays. But I see they've laxed a bit around here, but that's nor here nor there. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what we're gonna be doing here.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Nice to meet you, Wyatt.
Oh yeah.
You as well.
My name is Carola Gamboa. I am a member of Nino's cabinet.
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to repeat that one more time for me. Gonna scoot in here.
Yeah. My name is Carola Gamboa, or Carola Gamboa. I'm obviously a member of Nino's cabinet, and at the moment I am the administrator of the court center.
All right.
Former, well, still mechanic as well. So
I just want to quickly preface that I am horrible at names, so please don't take it personal if I forget anyone's name here. I'll do my best.
I have goldfish memory and I forget everyone's name, so we're going to be all on the same page.
All right.
You've been calling me Steven for 3 months.
Mm-hmm. Wait, that's not your
You
name?
can call me Chris as well.
Yeah.
Shit's fucked up.
We all
What's your
respond to
name
it?
then? Oh, no.
No. Junior, go ahead.
Hey, my name's Junior. Nice to meet you. I'm also in Nino's cabinet, and I try to help out with different business bits where I can.
All right. Nice to meet you.
Michael Rezel. I don't even know how I would describe my role. I would just say look in the MDT. I write basically most of the legislation for Los Santos County and kind of jack of all trades beyond that.
He's
You have a legal background there?
Yes. Heavily.
What kind of legal background?
Legislative.
Okay.
Oh, and I'm a lawyer.
Wait, what the fuck? Wait, when'd you get your bar license?
Well, proby, but
Oh,
a month and a half
shit.
ago. Yeah. Doing solid.
Okay. That's really good news. All right. Yeah, Michael here has been a big part of I think over the past 6 months, Michael has written probably 80% of the legislation, not just for Los Santos County, but was one of the primary editors for a lot of the state level legislation.
Right.
Tony?
Actually, I got bored over the weekend, so I wrote a 34-page criminal code for the entire state. We'll see if that goes anywhere. Sorry, Tony. Go ahead.
Oh no, it's good. Hey, how you doing? I'm Tony. Tony Long, lawyer. Recently rejoined the.
I never use
cabinet
phrases like
for
right
Los
hand.
Santos. And
It's belittling to everybody else.
oh, yeah, I don't know how to define my role either, but I fight fires here and there. When there's a case that comes up or anything pops up, but I usually assist with the legislative stuff as a reviewer and all that other jazz. Or I act as a microphone for clients that have been grossly mistreated.
Okay, fantastic. So I gave Turner I made contact with Turner in the last 24 hours, given the series of incidents, I'd say, well, the state of LSPD over the last 3 months in conjunction with what happened over the last, I'd say, about week and a half. Now, I recognize that in the meeting there was some stirring taking place. I mean, I nipped it in the bud real quick. You know, Turner is not here to replace the chief of police. I don't want to, as much as that would be funny to, you know, joke about with like, you know, 1 or 2 members of high command for like 30-minute, like for a 30-minute bit. I do not want that resonating throughout LSPD because some may doom too hard, some might spiral out of control, and we can't have that happen, right? Now, Turner's role at this point, and this is something that needs to be discussed today. He's gonna be a consultant, right? And I think we need to figure out where that consultancy sort of lands. I will be putting down like effectively like a job requirement sheet, which is probably the best thing to call it, or kind of the things that we're looking for in terms of Turner's consultancy. And like what areas I would like him to kind of like observe and provide an opinion on. And ideally, and I've been floating some names around, is seeing if High Command would be willing to take him on as an inspector or whatever title we want to provide it. In my mind right now, as I continue to workshop this, I would see it as, once again, a consultant role where his experience in law and experience running the LSPD can use that to help as a third party, neutral party, provide guidance, but not demand his opinions be implemented, right? So it's meant to help them. Now, of course, as with all things San Andreas, things are easier said than done, right? So I think once that sheet is done, I am going to review it with Turner, and then I will bring that proposal to the chief of police, and we'll see what the next steps are going to look. I think
I definitely want the chief of police to be on board with what we're doing here. I don't want. It's already apparent that she believes I'm some sort of threat to her position. I'm not interested in taking her position. I don't want to take her position.
Yeah.
I want to help.
Yeah.
I want to help and provide insight. That's what I want to do.
Absolutely.
So it's pretty integral to get her on board.
Absolutely. I think
Will be integral.
1000%. This is I think this is the solution to what I've been calling the LSPD Jenga tower. So many pieces have been moved and rotated, and some of the pieces are fallen over. The changing of guards would be absolutely damaging, no matter how much pressure this administration keeps getting, both internally and externally. But in the same vein, that tower is leaning a little bit too much off balance, and I think this, in my mind, is the perfect solution: is guidance, not massive swings of change. Any questions about that? Okay.
None from me.
All right, beautiful. Michael, I'm gonna pull you aside to later. Are you gonna be around today?
I'll be here for another 2 hours, then again about
Okay.
5.5 hours from now.
Beautiful. I'm gonna try to prioritize that.
Okay.
We'll re-engage on this topic at the end of this. I want to tackle the next thing. The next 3 months is quite frankly, I'll just call it my serious term, right? For lack of a better word. The first term, we fought extreme battles, right? And we could barely help our citizenry. Second term, half of it was caught up in the holidays, but also dealing with the whole situation involving Pred. This term, I want to get more accomplished than we did in the first 6, and that doesn't mean passing more legislation necessarily, but rather making like very big, impactful changes that is helping every sector of San Andreas. I have started putting a list together of the things that I want to tackle. I will share that list over our email communications, but I will highlight some of them right now just so you have an idea. First and foremost, all state funding that requests have been completed. Secondly, the business grant request, that form needs to be updated. It right now it's a series of questions on the form. It's impossible to read. Now, I have accepted, I think, one of the grants that came in, but I would like to migrate that where the people asking for the business grant submit like a document similar to the event grant.
Okay, easy. Yeah, I'll do
that. Otherwise, scrolling results sheet on Excel, just it looks like ass.
Yeah. I got you.
All right. Do you still want to do it if they ask for more than 100K? They got to give a presentation.
1,000%.
Okay, cool.
I think that our submission form for reimbursement should really just come with a Google document template that they're attaching to the forum submission, so that we pop it open. It can be in the transaction for law enforcement if they need to, audit the monetary things. They can look at it, and plus it's easier to read for everybody. We want to look at it, boop, open up the Google Doc. We see where the reimbursements are going. We can see a summary. We can see, the template should look like the one that Finley has been submitting and the one that Remedy is submitting. That is the perfect template. Okay. On that notion, Type R has requested $2 million. I think it's for the rebuilding of the Project Type R mechanic shop, but Kitty did not specify appropriately. I sent her a template, and she'll probably resubmit. Next, Oswaldo is requesting $3.5 million for the Oswaldo games or something like that. He hasn't actually, he was telling me about it because we were going to open courts again on Friday, and he's like, oh, that's when I wanted to do the games. There's not even a submission. I think I'm going to have to be that asshole and just be like, you can't do it this Friday. You're going to have to, if you want the money, it's going to have to be the Friday after, because we can't just give someone $3.5 million when they haven't even submitted the paperwork. And it would be the highest request by someone that hasn't even done it before. It would be a very, very bad look, right? Oswaldo's great. His intention is great. But if we give it to him, we have to give it to everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Under the same standard. So we can't do that. Next, I have spoken to Jordan Walker this morning. He was looking for a business grant to help pay his workers at the drink shop. I let him know that we cannot give him money to increase wages for his workers. Instead, he should follow the model of the other stalls, which is hold events, right? Like Big Dog Noodles has. That will give his employees money. It'll drive traffic. In addition to that, since he can only serve drinks, I recommended he speak with the kebab shop and outsource donuts, specifically the strawberry donut, which I understand is a favorite among some of us.
All food stalls, I think, Big Dog Noodles, Frank's, I know they're very good at like getting, your own food if you want your own shit done. Like,
yes.
If you want your own stuff done through there, you can just contact them. I don't think it should be a case of just because you have that drinks place, you just can't sell any food.
Absolutely.
You're limited.
I also recommended that, given that there's the 3 stalls next to each other that are very active, kebab shop, the noodle shop, and then the drink place, that they do some sort of joint competitive event, right? And drive money that way, because it brings traffic, it gets citizens involved, and then it makes it easier for us to give them money. You know what I mean?
Junior, I'll say this. If that program becomes nothing but a wage subsidy program, you will not get the desired result out of it. That's my 2 cents.
Wait, what did you say, Junior? Maybe I misunderstood your
no,
comment.
isn't like I said, like, if people want food from different food stalls, they can go to Big Dog or they can go to Frank's to get their own like unique stuff done, rather than getting just random donuts.
Yeah.
True.
No, I'm compounding on Nino's point that do
Oh.
events, right? Don't come in for pay, because if that program's just a wage subsidy program, it's not
Agreed.
going to have the impact we want.
Agreed. 100%. Next up, yesterday I spoke with the Marshals. I do not know what the hell is going on, but I was treated like the mayor of the county for the first time. I cannot disclose some of those conversations, but I am very hopeful for Doc. I am very hopeful for Barrett, who are now the field directors. This administration will work with the Marshals. If they approach you about internal matters, mayoral matters, it does need to go through me. So if they come to you, Corolla, for example, and are like, what's going on with the bank accounts, right, with the court center, you let them know that they need to come to me for that information. Obviously, I think they already have that understanding, but I'm making it clear that I want us to work with them, be very open with them, but obviously we need to, like, you know, we still need to also interface professionally. The reason I bring up the court center is they did approach me, and this is what blew my mind. They approached me about $7 million going into the 5 different courts accounts. And, you know, I told them what's going on, right? We have 5 of them. You can't have shared bank accounts. All the transactions are kept in there, and they're open for any auditing that they need to do. In addition, we got the transactions on the website, so we'll work with them if they need it. But I want to highlight that they came to me within 24 hours of noticing what they thought might have been a discrepancy, instead of turning into a investigation over bullshit, right? It was amazing. It was surprising. And I want us to, in turn, show the same support back. You know what I mean? It goes further.
Amazing. That's great.
I got contacted by Judge Danielson, and he wants to pass a county state bar program where the county will be managing its own bar licenses. I don't know what the hell happened, but magic is occurring. I think gone are the days of these different branches just trying to kill each other and take power over one another. I think we're finally seeing a turning point. Tony, Michael, please review the bar legislation. I will share it on and Abilene too. If she notes it, I'll make a note to her. Please review it. I'd like us to get I'd like us to give our feedback back by end of day so we can get that rolling. What that means is we can have a county head of bar and actually get more lawyers cranking under our purview. When I say under our purview, what I mean by that is we can do what we need to do to encourage more people becoming lawyers, right? And manage our own standards. So, all right. Next, back pay for mayoral cabinet. I will be sending it out by end of week. I'm reviewing the last 6 months. I will try to do some math and cut some paychecks, because I know you guys are getting paid like $600 an hour. That's ridiculous. I want to do back pay on that. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean I'm going to give any bonuses for some of the legislative writing you've done, Michael. I think that's going to be a separate discretionary spending that I'm going to do. So
not fussed, you know.
Yeah. I'm mostly doing it because I want to set a standard for mayors down the line. Is that, you know, if you're doing good work, you should be, you know, paid for it, and how you choose to spend that money, that is your prerogative, right? Like, you're probably like me. I don't spend a dime. I just let it accumulate, but what's fair is fair.
Yeah, I get it.
Next, the citywide survey. That is something I'm going to tackle with you first and foremost, Michael. We need to workshop a little bit how we're going to do it, but we got to contact Foxconn and Turner, a little context. Our software engineer for courtcenter.me is a lifer in Bolingbrook. We have a program that we're trying to spin up down at Bolingbrook to educate lifers to be software engineers and hardware producers with a opportunity down the line to get H1 Bolingbrook visas for immigration, temporary otherwise, for like work visas into the greater part of San Andreas.
They would commute from prison to their job and back to prison.
I think for like janitorial work is like an example. They would be shuttled to the court center during operating hours to do cleanup and stuff like that while having trackers on them. But eventually the best of them, the most hardworking of them, the ones that have shown a contribution back to San Andreas may have a greater opportunity to potentially get released. So it's
All right.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Yeah. You know, it's work for China. I think it'll work for San Andreas. And, you know, we have a lot more latitude than they do. See, over in China, people get paid about $0.25 an hour in Foxconn. Here at Bolingbrook, everything is already subsidized, and you know, it's pretty much free labor. All right.
I see. What kind of charges are we looking at on these people? We talking like terrorists? We're talking murderers? Victim murder? What?
That would be a part of the equation that would need to be played. Our particular intern was put in for ISO violations, the International Standards Association. Oh shit. Hold on one second.
Yeah. What is that?
The International Standards Organization is a international. They do standardization, like how do you do UTC timestamps in computer code? You know, how do you? It's like math related stuff. I think he was like from Sweden or something, and they were very. He's on some odd charges, but nothing violent or anything along those lines.
He's a lifer on nothing violent.
Correct. He's an international
flagrant ISO charges.
Yeah.
Flagrant.
Yeah.
ISO is that standardized time thing, right?
It's
more than that.
Yeah, it's more than that. Time is one of. There's like thousands of ISO compliance things, and some of them include time. Some include like measurements. Some include like
Quality management. ISO
quality
9001.
management. Yep.
Is that something that was pushed by a Swedish guy around here at some point?
Yes. Yeah. He was in there. with
Officer
the
Trigg.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. That's the one. So.
Yeah, I remember sitting through that. All right. And now that's you could do life for not following that now?
I'm sorry?
You get locked up for life by not following that format?
I don't know the details, if I'm going to be honest.
Okay, all right. That's beside the point.
Yep.
But all right, yeah, like above my pay grade.
Yep.
Ah,
All right.
I think if you need a TLDR, there's a couple songs about it you can listen to.
I think I recall actually a couple of those songs before I took my leave. Was not a fan of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. So this survey that I'm talking about, this particular survey is I want to be able to survey the populace of San Andreas to understand their perspective on businesses, on like whether it's stalls, whether it's you know, their opportunities in the city, get their opinions on things, and also get their satisfaction ratings on EMS, doctors, judges, lawyers, police, both LSPD, BCSO, and very similarly, I want a survey for law enforcement, specifically the LSPD, and once again in terms of satisfaction. The formatting of this we will, you know, figure out. I think that needs to be discussed. But what I effectively want to do is have a way to get feedback and data in a way that we can look at it and best align the next 4 weeks, right?
How do you get an unbiased opinion from the public?
Well, everyone inherently is going to be biased, right? And as a consequence of that, I think when we hear, when we get feedback, right? So, for example, the question probably shouldn't be something like, from a 1 to 10, you could have a question like, from 1 to 10, what is, with 10 being the best, 1 being the worst, what is your current satisfaction with a PD? When we look at that data, we need to extrapolate what that number truly means through the lens of, like, for example, we could have a thing that says, do you have a felony? Do you have a violent felony? Do you have no violent felony? And then equally look at the result. So I think the answer itself wouldn't be. Yeah, exactly. So we'd want to extrapolate based on all the information rather than, say, if the public is saying PD is a 2, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a 2, but it's what the public perception is. But I think it should also be associated with the ability to provide some examples. So
when you're polling, a lot of bias in responses can be avoided based on how you structure your questions. There's a lot of strategies for crafting unbiased questions that will hopefully elicit unbiased responses.
Mm-hmm.
I'd imagine you also weigh them differently. Violent felony, arrested, multiple times in the last, couple months. Then they're going to hold less weight when they're saying the department's a 1 as opposed to a 10. Whereas you got these law-abiding citizens that are out here and going to say the department's an 8. They should carry more weight than the people who've been arrested multiple times in the last month. Because of course they're not going to be they're not going to want to say the department's doing a good job. Nobody leaves a 5-star review when they get arrested, right?
Yeah, that is very true. And honestly, I think one of the biggest challenge our administration has is we're kind of playing like mom and dad for the PD and the rest of the city, where it's kind of like both sides of the coin have issues with the other side, and it's like we almost have to listen and be sympathetic for both ends, but also be like very stern and demanding on another end. It's tough. It's tough. Continuing on, this is going to go hand in hand with the consultation talk with Turner, which is it goes hand in hand. It's going to be parallel to this. Is we need some sort of LSPD progress report, right? And specifically, we need to outline our expectations of the LSPD. I'm going to point out some examples. Things like I mentioned the pre-crying, right? Now, this isn't like at the top of my list, but it's a new phenomena that's began over the last 4 weeks, where we have removed a lot of obstacles for the LSPD. That were real obstacles, right? Officers being targeted by the old Marshals, them not having control of their own department, all these kind of things. Those hurdles are gone. Now it's their responsibility to build up a healthy police department that can service the city and does not have and is responsible if there's cases of, let's just say, over aggressiveness or whatever you want to call it, right? Like the Fleeka incident. But it is, over the last couple weeks, the pre-crying is happening. And the pre-crying is, we start to have a conversation because there's a problem, and you start to get exclusive defensiveness, crying instead of having a real a conversation as to how we're going to solve it, right? It's a waste of my time. It's a waste of yours time. It's going to screw the hardworking members of the police department who are trying to get on duty, are trying to do their job right, are trying to also enjoy themselves, it's not productive. But number two, there's a massive communication problem occurring. And I think that also includes with us, right? Which is why I want to see them migrate towards documenting communications on all important decisions, and also require acknowledgement. Now, the reason I point this out is that this is something that I've extrapolated from the various conversations I've had over the past week and a half, including what may be excuses, but this is a way to like curb those excuses. I'm not going to go through the rest of the list right now, but my point here is that LSPD High Command should understand what it is that we, the mayor's cabinet, the voice of the people, are expecting out of LSPD. And I want to meet up every 2 weeks, at least, to review the progress report. So we can say, hey, we agreed that we're going to increase training. What happened over the last 2 weeks? Like, what are the metrics? Hey, we promoted this person. We did this, right? What this does is ensure that we're not having to have a constant eye on the LSPD. They can do as they need autonomously, but they're also progressing the department in a positive direction. Is what I'm outlining here make sense?
Yeah.
Can I make a comment on that?
Absolutely.
I think that's good, being that the department's in some rocky waters right now, but give kind of a time frame that you're planning on doing it for, instead of making it a permanent thing until things get better. You want to let them know that this isn't permanent. They're going to feel like you're micromanaging them, and while you might be doing that right now, because that's what's
100%.
That's not good for the mental of that command staff.
I do see that, actually. I think that, that's a really good point. I think to like circle back on the idea, and I think this needs to be further workshopped, is perhaps it needs to be high level expectations, like sort of like this is what the LSPD should be from the eyes of the police department. And any action items like training or whatever are metriced when there's a need, but those metrics are removed when the need seems fulfilled. And that in those bi-monthly meetings, we assess the state of things, right? How are things at the regular meeting? And if in said meeting or during that course of the 2 weeks leading up to the meeting, there are problems and patterns exposing, we can re-add a metric back. And
yeah,
I think,
good.
Yeah, I think what this is ensuring is that there is a clear understanding that these are like requirements, right? These are job requirements, and they need to be fulfilled. Because we cannot allow what's happened over the last 2 months to happen again, right? And it's unfortunate it has, but we're here now. We need to, solve the problem. Okay. Court Center security restructure. I think this is gonna include the Jason, Corolla. I think you two, myself, Michael, we need to set up a meeting today with Carmine to at least go through what his plans are for the security division of courts. As in the event you're not aware, Quantum, I no longer think is capable for the job of chief of mall security. I think as an assistant chief or whatever it might be is within reason. However, we do not have the bandwidth to train him to know how to turn his switch on and off. And I cannot risk my own time or the court center. If it looks like a joke, the mall security will forever be a joke. and it's going to turn into senior buns. Last beta was absolutely miserable. So there's going to need to be a change there. Once I get these other meetings out of the way, Jason, what's your schedule looking like? I know you're here temporarily right now.
I'm around for another half an hour, and then I will be back in 5 hours.
In 5 hours? Corolla, are you going to be around in 5 hours by any chance?
Yes, I will.
Okay, beautiful. Jason, when you're back, if you could contact me and Corolla, and we'll have that conversation. We'll go into more in depth into it.
Absolutely.
All right, fantastic.
That's about when I'll be back too.
Beautiful.
I'm so sorry, I didn't
Beautiful.
want you to. I feel so bad that you had to come in.
No, I'm usually here for. No. I'm usually here for about an hour this time of day.
Okay.
Sorry,
Perfect.
Just
horrible
if I'm a
muscle issues
bit
today.
more unresponsive, just know my mouth is full of, like, food.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Appreciate you clarifying that.
I shouldn't have.
So, the next thing are the car part conversation. Jason, you, me, and Corolla, let's talk about this after we break off from this meeting. And finally, yeah, let's leave it at that. I think this is good. Okay, any topics y'all want to bring up?
Yes.
Okay, you go first.
Bruce gave me an RC car and a tablet, and wants to know if we would like to sell them at Court Center and start like an RV club and do RV races.
Oh, I like that a lot, actually. Are RVs easy to put together?
He said he can do it. I don't know how it's actually done though.
Okay.
Crypto.
All right. I definitely think that should be, reviewed.
I wonder if they can still be worked on at Mosley's.
Yep. Absolutely.
Remember when Frankie Rizzo tuned that one?
Hey, Moss.
Hello, did you want to talk?
Yes. I'm wrapping up a cabinet meeting. We can chat right after.
Can we put a 100
Alright.
millimeter turbo
All right.
on an RC
See you in a
car?
bit.
He put a turbo
All
on
right,
it in an
bye-bye.
RC car. I'm not lying to you. He put like
Oh
big
my.
fat tires on it and jacked it up. You remember that?
I
Nino?
have one here if you guys want to check it out.
You should let Corolla test it out. That's when I met Frank. He called me down
Actually,
to
I would-
Mosley's to show me.
Let me see if I have.
Damn.
Oh,
I never
this
seen
looks
one of
really
those
cool.
before.
Here, let me just walk over this way. I'm
Um,
curious to see if I can actually.
If you put it on the ground right at Benny's, you can work on it.
Oh yeah, Michael, I've got a few business support acts that I want to run by you and see if they're actually any good before I get actually writing them.
Oh, like legislation? Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna put it down.
because they may be dog shit, but I just did some late night reading and I thought, yeah, that seems alright.
Yeah. Know a
um,
thing or two about business supports, Junior. I can help you out.
okay. Let's close out on the Court Center parts thing. And then I'm going to pull Michael and Turner aside to kind of cook a little bit more on the PD related stuff.
Before you move on, just update. If you look at our legislation email chain, there's a whole list of shit there. The Lease Act is written. The Hearings Act is there just so we can get back to looking at that, as well as Serenade's 2 acts. I started compiling stuff for the administration in the north. But if you want me to add additional stuff to that package I'm going to send over, let me know.
Okay.
And then anyone who feels like, I don't know, reading a 34-page fictional criminal code, please, by all means, look at it. It'll probably never see the light of day, but it stimulated my brain.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right.
Courts.
Makes sense. All right. So that is perfect. Like I said, I've been kind of in the midst of like putting together a list of and a priority of all the things we need to do, and I'll add that sort of to the list.
Yeah,
My goal is that we sort of have a very high level. Right now, I'm kind of doing smaller bullet points, but I want to expand that into like high level things that I want us to accomplish this term. And obviously, the big pieces are LSPD, court center, and, you know, let's just say public service, right? And that's going to encompass everything from like the surveys to personnel satisfaction or people satisfaction, etc. So that's going to take me a minute, but okay. Corolla, could you explain what's going on with the so that everyone understands the thing with we have all these parts and some of your ideas for it?
Okay, basically the situation is that we have 3 containers full of stage 1 upgrades. And we have, I believe it's 2.5, I think I saw today, of stage 2. I had thought of making some sort of a care package for EMS and PD for the shared vehicles, since new EMS and new officers tend to not have much money. But there was Nino's idea of doing it on Friday at courts, which I think is fantastic. Although I do have a question on that. What about officers who, for example, work in the shift right before this one? How could I get that going? I kind of want to bring the earlier shift into the courts center stuff as well. Just invite them, you know?
Yep. Oh yeah. So so we've got a lot of car parts, stage 1s and 2s. Obviously, they're taking up too much space, preventing us from making, you know, having room for other things. And the question is, how do we move these? Is that accurate, Corolla?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Because we're not gonna be able to sell them.
Okay. So
we got to figure out what we're gonna do.
I think, and Jason, I'd like you to weigh in on this as well, is I'm gonna be real with you. I think we take half of that shit. I was cooking on this for a second, and while I originally stated, keep in mind, Corolla, when I originally said this, I had a million things in my mind. I want PD to get used to making accounts and coming to the court center. They are very disconnected from the rest of the community, and we don't want to enable that, right? Where they already have food delivered to them instead of going to the stalls. I don't like that. I really don't. It just adds division. In the same sense, I don't want them to have to go and we bring them the parts, right? It's just more creating a distance between them and creating more that this us and them divide. To solve both of these things, I think we should let them know we're donating these parts, and we have a couple officers come up and we unload like 75% of the stage 1s and stage 2s to them. What do you think?
Sounds fantastic. There are a total of 9 shared vehicles, CVPIs, at MRPD, and there are 7 ambulances and 2 fire trucks with EMS.
Oh, are you thinking about also giving it to EMS? Let's start with EMS. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Jason, what do you think? 75% unload?
I don't, they were donated to us, so I don't care how much we give to EMS PD. On Saturday, I did give 1 set of the stage 1s to an EMS worker. I don't remember his name off the top of my head, as well as Alejandro, who is a lawyer. And then somebody did purchase a stage 2 set at the 80% discount.
Yep. Tyler, Hank had him in a cabinet meeting.
That's what I can do with EMS and PD.
Okay. Well,
I'll just do stage 1. Then we can see.
This is not a pre-cry.
We'll sell at the 80%.
Okay.
Okay.
My time is just as important as you. I've got things to see and people to do.
Okay.
And you got me here with my finger in
listen,
that fucking asshole
listen,
right now.
you stupid bitch. All right, I'm the mayor of the county, not the mayor of Los Santos Police Department, and we are currently trying to figure out a plan of action for the next 3 months. All right, so you sit tight, Moss sit tight, and I with this conversation would not be happening if you guys didn't take your finger off the fucking pulse.
This sounds like you're fucking pre-crying to me right now.
I am telling you what you will do. Now you wait.
Fine.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. Yeah. We'll just do it tomorrow, bro. I'm in a fucking rush for it, you know what I mean? I got loads of stuff on my plate these days.
I love Peter so much. All right. All right.
And, I mean, if you can talk to your contacts about if they have, I mean, we have to see what the limits are and everything else, but, you know, 4s and 5s are always hard to get a hold of, you know.
All right.
We can see about that. What do you think Nino is thinking for the
could you speak up there, Corolla?
I was thinking that for the so-called care packages, it would just be stage 1s, and we can see about, you know, we can see who would be interested in buying the stage 2 packages at that 80% discount. 75%, you said, I believe.
I think we can move 75% of that out, but let's just say by any means necessary. Was I correct in saying, Jason, the 1s and 2s were free?
We haven't sold a single stage 2 yet.
Okay. I'd say, yeah, then I would just do what we can to move out the 75%, whether it's like all EMS comes down and grabs it, or LSPD comes down, with the high encouragement for that they actually make accounts. Because we're trying to encourage them going to the site and making it, you know, I did bring up at the meeting, as you heard, like I was like, hey, 30% off stage 3, 4, and 5. No one showed up. Like, you know what I mean? Do you guys need upgrades? You need not need upgrades. Yeah. So
the thing is that most of the officers who were in that meeting are not there at the time that we do. They're no longer working when we're doing court center stuff. A lot of them were working a few hours before storm, and they're almost on their way out. Like, they'll go to the meeting, say hi, hang out, turn around, and go to sleep because they've ended their shift. That's why I was wondering if I could, you know, I don't know, call officers or do something in the shift before this one. Yeah. Since they basically are not awake at the time of courts. Beta testing at the moment.
I think and that's within reason, but we had 0 people go through, and like, you know, it's I want to stray away from, let's just call it like bird feeding. Is that what it's called? Bird feeding?
It sounds good. I understand the idea behind it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Easy. Good shit. In terms of courts, are people actively still coming to us to sell us things? It sounded like that might be happening.
I wasn't awake until late yesterday. But I do believe I saw some orders come through while I was out of the city.
Ooh, okay. All right. I would say, and I kind of don't want to, I can't stress this enough, is that do not, like, you know, when we're not in beta hours, do not feel either of you to, like, we really need to put too much effort behind the court center, right? Because as construction happens, life's gonna get better, and don't worry about, like, you know, the hype around it disappearing, because the hype will come when construction comes, and our life will be 1,000 times easier. Carmine, court center, security meeting in 5 hours.
5 hours from now?
Yeah. Can you do that?
Yes, I can, but I've spoken to Quantum.
Really
let's talk in a bit. I'm wrapping up
We've bought a lot, but we haven't sold but we
cabinet
haven't
meeting.
Really been
Okay, Quantum's going to reach out to you. He's going to talk to you.
Okay, beautiful.
But it's been dealt with.
During the
Beautiful.
betas, don't we?
We do, yes. And I have been, as I go about my business in the city, when Court Center isn't open, and people are like, "Oh, I wish I could buy XYZ." I'm like, "Have you looked on the Court Center?" And so I've been trying to get people signed up and on the website that way as well. And sometimes what they're looking for, either we don't sell through the Court Center yet, or it's unavailable, but I'm still trying to get them to set up accounts.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think it is, and I can assist with this too, is that I'm very much more than open to the idea that, you know, if people want to do transactions like during the week, is that like, you know, if we so choose, like, and this is very optional, right? And there shouldn't be a feeling of any obligation by any of us, including myself, that if someone's like, hey, calls us something like, hey man, like I put in an order for like at courts, can you help fulfill it? That we can, you know, we can so choose to go up there and help make it go throughout the week. I just don't want to create a circumstance where we feel bound to something that is, you know, kind of, you know, in its current state. You know what I mean? Like,
usually if there's
away. Sorry.
Okay.
Usually if those types of orders come in or people want to sell, buy, whichever, I let them know when I'm available. Because I'm not just going to drop everything and run to the Court Center for people. But I'm like, I'm available like now for an hour. If you can get here during that hour, I'll take care of it. If not, it's going to have to wait.
Okay. All right.
That's how it should be.
Love it. Love it. All right. Anything else we want to talk about regarding courts? Because otherwise we can sort of look to visit that in the courts meeting in 5 hours.
The only other thing... Oh, go ahead, girl.
Yeah.
No, I was just agreeing that I was done. I don't know.
Oh,
So please go
okay.
ahead.
The only other thing people have mentioned to me is if Court Center will be having a recording studio or something for our musical artists. And I said I would just mention that to everybody.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Love it. I need to pull Michael and Turner aside as LSPD High Command is awaiting some conversations. I am not going to go too deep into it with them. But it does... I can tell you that... look, I'm just going to be rather frank. They've been sitting on their fucking ass. I spoke to them last night, and now they're demanding answers. It will not happen, but I need to be prepared for that in about 10 minutes. So let's reconvene. If you need me, please give me a call.
When you say be prepared, you mean for the meeting?
I think you, me, and Michael chat on that topic. I don't want to have y'all, the rest of y'all have to deal with this. All right, easy.
Is it something you'd like for me to join as well, or
no, just me, Turner, and Michael.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to
There's not much
expose
on
the
my plate.
suffering. Yeah, I want you guys to live happy lives in San Andreas.
Yeah, he doesn't care about me.
Yeah. All right.
I care about you, buddy.
Thank you.
How you doing, Pred?
I thought you were retired.
Hey,
Michael.
Nino, what's going on? How's who
What does
won?
that say about me coming
I
here
did.
willingly?
I did. Yeah.
Who won the North, Bobby?
Mumbles.
Mumbles did. Is he around? Is he
He
awake?
is around. Yeah.
All right, perfect. I need to manipulate that clown.
All right. Well, he is looking for a new sheriff.
Perfect. All right, I'm gonna give him a call.
All right. Okay.
Call you right back, Nino.
All
If
right.
you need me, give me a call. I'll be flying around in my jetpack.
All right.
yeah, well,
Beautiful.
Walk and talk.
All right, bye, buddy.
I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Oh, actually,
All right.
there goes your opportunity. Too late.
Fantastic.
Sorry, what was that? Did you... Was there something, Junior?
Crowdfunding matching act. I'm speaking to Michael about some
Okay.
acts for businesses.
I
I've got
need
ideas
to...
of.
Too late.
I need
You lost
Michael
your
and
time.
Turner. Let's reconvene some of the other conversations
Easy.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
All right. Michael, Turner, right over here.